So
I
that
understand.
means so that means Shomo comes in as the second opener.
Yeah, I would probably pick
But
Shomo
are you
because
guys
Shomo.
then sold on Shomo then? Because we're not also convinced on Shomo as well.
Well, here's the thing.
I am though.
Shomo, I am. I've been talking about Shomo for a while. Shomo, okay, he's not going to be as consistent as Tamim, but if we
Hey, welcome, guys. This is the 31st episode of The Yorker. We just watched the first game versus New Zealand in New Zealand, and we lost. And if you just looked at the scorecard, it's pretty bad. But if you watched bits and pieces of the game, then you might have picked up a few things which didn't translate in the scorecard. So I don't know who's going to have a first crack at it. Rinat, I know you've watched a lot of the game, if not most of it. So what you think?
I think we sort of lost the game at the toss, to be very honest. And a lot of people may not agree with me, but when you're in a new condition, you have half of your players doesn't have any experience, they didn't play their practice match, and you're playing against one of the informed sides. Batting first is always a very risky business, right? Because you have no idea how the pitch is going to behave. You have no idea about the pace, about the bounce, about the movements, anything really. So I think that was a poor decision. It was a brave one. I mean, it was like overestimating our batting lineup. But after that, I mean, we all saw that there was a collapse, and that frankly it was expected. I mean, if you look at the New Zealand's bowling attack, it's full of venom. Like their one bowler, Lockie Ferguson, has more venom than our entire pace attack combined. So it wasn't unexpected. What was unexpected though was to have all three of our seniors fail at the same time. It doesn't really happen very often anymore. You'll usually have at least one or two of them stepping up. But yeah, and I think I'll actually let Mufi comment more about the batting because I feel like he's our batting specialist here.
No, I'm not a specialist on anything, but I think in a swinging condition in New Zealand, it was a mistake to bat first. When you look at the how our batsmen got out, it was a swinging ball from Chen Bolt. Leaped on the ball. It was an in swing as well, and so was Mushfiq. So that was another in swing, and he did not cover it. He tried to cut it, and it was way too late. So I think coming from Bangladeshi conditions, going to an away pitch, so our batsmen were not ready for that. And most of the balls, I mean, they have a very good bowling squad. It's a Bolt who bowls within the speed of like 130 to 140. Then you have Matt Henry, and as Rinat said, Lucky, who bowls I think 150. One of the wicket that I saw about the last wicket that he got, he bowled at 149.6 or something. So it was he's express. He's extremely fast.
Ferguson got up to 154, which is
154,
I mean,
which is really
that's Shoaib Akhtar,
pacey.
Brett type pace.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just pacey. That's like Brett Lee, Shoaib Akhtar type pace.
Yes, so he's very good. I mean, he doesn't have a very good control of his bowling, but he has pace. So I think that's why one of the reason I think our team batted first, because we went with, I would say, 9 batsmen or 8.5 if you consider Miraz and Saifuddin as half, so like 8 to 9 batsmen. So I think Mashrafi wanted to put up a huge total, 300 plus. But the way our batsmen got out, so I think we were lucky to score 230. At one point, I thought we would get like less than 100. So credit to Mohammad Mithun. Shomo also played a tremendous innings. That 6 of Matt Henry was amazing, like 86 or close to 90, like way up in the stands. So I think he was amazing. But he, as we all know, Shomo, he usually has a good start, but he just can't carry on. So that's been his problem. The less I talk about Shabir is good. I will let Rinat talk about Shabir because he should he come in at number 6 or number 7? I think he came at number 6 yesterday. Is that his role to come in that late, or should he come in early at number 3, number 4? That's I mean that's another issue with our lineup. So I think overall at batting, but I think in the second ODI, I was the first ODI, so I'm not gonna get too critical of our lineup. So it's the first match. So I think going forward, 250. I think we should score more than 250 in the next game.
No,
My opinion. Sorry to cut you off, Roy. My opinion. I don't think these were bad conditions to bat in at all.
No.
It might be.
No, this is not bad
Yeah.
condition, but the fact that we came from our home pitch to this pitch, so we're not used to facing
Yeah.
someone who's like doing 154, like close to 150. And Trent
This
Bolt
was
has a lot of swing,
Yeah.
so we are not
Yeah.
facing those swinging balls in our pitches.
Well, I mean, this is only going to help us for preparation for the World Cup, because in the World Cup, this is the kind of condition we're going to expect. Maybe the pitch will. This is kind of a slower wicket. Maybe the pitch will be a little bit faster, bouncier in the World Cup. Maybe. But honestly, I think that some of the pitches will be just like this, and I think most of the pitches will actually be better batting wickets than this one. And not that this one was a bad batting wicket. Par. We should have scored minimum 275 here.
Yeah, I think the
To have a
par was
chance.
270. Like anything above 270
Par
was the par.
Yeah, par was probably 300, but I mean, I'm just guessing.
right.
But
And
I mean,
the
25
grounds
to have
are
a chance.
so the grounds are smaller. So a lot of the grounds in that.
Yeah.
So one of the 6, I think it was from, I forgot who it was, like one of the slog sweep. It would have been caught if it was in somewhere else, like in England or in India or in Australia. But the fact that grounds are so small, so it's easily like 270, 300 is a par score in that pitch, in those grounds.
I mean, I think that it really came down to the fact that Tamim, Mushi, and Riyadh all failed. 3 seniors. I mean, we rely on these guys to score 150 runs combined every game, and I think in this game they got 20, maybe a few more than that. So it's not going to happen every game, every day.
Yeah.
In that context, getting 230 is actually pretty good. First game on tour, etc. We need to build on that, and I mean, we're going to need to get 275 just to have a chance.
Right.
Honestly.
Right. And I was just going to say, all three of you have done such a good job in just covering the game so far, player by player. Like, there's almost nothing left to say. But really, I was really impressed with Mithun and Saifuddin, because I want to see a good fight no matter what I watch. I remember falling asleep, waking up again, and just watching those two still bat. And that to me was a surprise, I was really happy. And then even the way we started our bowling, I thought there was a part of me that was wondering maybe we're going to get this will be over before the 40th over, but it went on till the 45th. So they were taking their time as well, and maybe they were doing that because our bowling was pretty good. And if we had a better score on the board, it would have been a much closer match. And the fact that, like Rinat said, that all of our seniors didn't click at the same time, true. Also, since Shakib wasn't there, so now you just have 3 guys. And so if Shakib was there, maybe all those 3 guys would have failed, and it would have been his turn. Like, this would have been one of those games where Shakib does it for the team. So having the core out and Shakib is turning out to hurt us. But what do you guys think of Shomo? I don't think it was too bad, because normally it's worse than this. So I'm going to take his 30 odd at a good strike rate. I'm going to take that from Shomo. But Liton, I'm not giving him a pass, even though it was the first game in the four. Liton,
I think just one more comment. I think the pitch got a lot easier. The first 10 overs, I think Rinat, you may comment on this one. You saw the match. The first 10 overs had a lot of swing, and after that, towards like after 15th over, the pitch got a lot easier. I mean, I saw the batsmen were playing the shots more comfortably than the first 15 overs.
Yeah, I think. I don't know if it had a lot of swing. I mean, it was definitely not like a green wicket, but yeah, obviously when you have such quality seamers bowling in, in conditions like that with the wind early on with the new ball, there is going to be a little bit of a swing. The issue with the swing was that it was coming at a very good pace. Whatever the swing was, the deviations weren't anything really like they weren't very huge, but then they were coming at an average of 140 plus, which our batsmen struggled. And if you look at Liton's dismissal, if you look at Tamim's dismissal, and Riyad and Mushi, they all got beaten because of the pace more than the swing. Because from what I have seen, that they just couldn't negotiate by the time the ball got to them.
But Rinat, I mean, I know it's like we've beaten this topic to death already, but what about the mental aspect? And like, if you were a batsman in a situation like that, wouldn't you just see it out, like see the ball out or something, just block and like you should be able to negotiate in the sense that if you rely solely on defense and not go on the offensive attack and just see the ball out and if we did that, I'm sure we could have gotten more than 232, which in turn would have made it a much closer match than it turned out to be in the end.
I think this.
Yeah, Alfie, you can take this one.
Yeah, no, Alfie, go ahead.
I think that definitely that's something that there's always got to be that balance. So, if you remember the Champions Trophy game, it was kind of similar. Although we were chasing in that one, we were I think 30 for 4, 32 for 4, something like that in the first 10 overs, and they were batting very slowly. And when Shakib and Riyad came in with that massive 200-run partnership to win the game, they were batting very slowly the first 5-6 overs. You're going to bat slowly when you're losing wickets or when it's difficult conditions, even if it's a one-day match. But you don't want to bat too slow. You don't want to be going at just 2 runs and over.
I see what you mean. So you're saying in the end of the day, it's all due to the good bowling from the New Zealand. Their paces were unbelievable. Like that's.
No, I don't think they were unbelievable. No. Yeah. They were bowling well. Especially Bolt was bowling well. Even Ferguson was well. He was a bit erratic, but his line and length. They were bowling well. Our batsmen batted poorly, also. But there was good, like the delivery they got Tamim was a very good delivery. I mean, Tamim was looking to flick that onto the leg side, and it ended up clipping the leading edge or outside edge and it was swinging away. So, I mean, that was he just got deceived by a very, very good outswinger.
I think that was more to his mistake, though. I mean, you're on your second or third over. You're facing one of the quickest bowlers and with the new ball in conditions that you are not aware of, and you try to flick something down to the leg side as if it's Shere Bangla. Doesn't work like that, right?
That's a typical Tamim flick. Like he flicks a lot in the first couple of overs. He flicks off his pads quite a bit.
Yeah.
But he shouldn't have. That's one of the reasons why he's not successful in New Zealand, right?
In hindsight, he probably should not have. But, I mean, if there's one player that I'm banking... Well, I mean, Mushi and Tamim are both so good these days. I'm banking on both of them to get big scores the rest of the series. I mean, there's only 2 games left. But, I fully expect... I would be very disappointed.
They kind of have to, too. If I want to get my 2-1 prediction right, then they have to win both these games, right?
I'm thinking one thing I liked about our batting was they were very aggressive. Even when Shomo was playing at he was scoring 30 off 20 balls or something. Mushfiq, he came down the track and scored 1 of 4. So that showed the intent that even though we lost a couple of early wickets, our batsmen were trying to score at a high rate. So I think they wanted to score 300. So 300 plus. Yeah. So it just didn't work out because most of the batsmen, like the first 4 and 5 wickets, we lost very early. So the intent was right, but I think it was just the first ODI, the nerves or the inexperience of the batsmen showed up. That's why.
I mean, they just arrived in the country. I mean, one practice game is not really enough. But
I hate excuses like that. I mean, I'm just being real. Like, nerves.
Yeah, but it's also true though. I mean, there's not you can't. It's an undeniable fact. I mean, it's not
the conditions are so different from Bangladesh. So
I mean, you see foreign teams come to Bangladesh, play a tour match. They'll play 3 ODIs, and then still struggle against our spinners and our conditions in a test match. So acclimatization and getting used to these things, it really is difficult.
No, you're right on that. So I'm kind of hoping because all the three ODIs they're all in different grounds, but I'm
Mhm.
kind of hoping the pitches will be the same going forward the second or third ODI because if they're not, then we can always in retrospect in hindsight we can say okay we should have batted first or bowled first. But so what should we do? Let's go into the lineup I guess for the second ODI. Talk about what lineup we can field. So Rinat, do you think we should then we should field first in the second ODI?
I think so. I think we are a team that can chase better if we know what kind of target we're looking at. Because again, one of the reason why the players were playing so aggressive in the first game was because in their heads they knew that they have a weak bowling attack. Plus they were wary of their batting attack, so they were trying to get as many runs as possible because they clearly knew that anything short of 300 is going to be very difficult, and they're right. So if we get a target, if we can manage to restrict them below 300, I think we have a very good chance. That's probably the only way we're gonna win a game in this series.
So, Mufi, do you think we should bring in Rubel instead of Shabir? Uh,
Yeah, Rubel should come in. I don't think three seamers is enough, especially when Saifuddin is not 100% seamer. He's more like an all-rounder. So with his speed, I wouldn't call him as a third seamer. So Rubel should definitely come in as a third seamer. Saifuddin, after a good first ODI, I think he's going to keep his spot. So the only spot that I see open from him is probably Sabbir. So if he like, we don't really need a batsman at number 6 or number 7. And he's not going to contribute anything more than 20 runs. So I think Rubel should come in. So at the top, it's going to be the same thing. You have Tamim, Leeton, and then all the way up to your lower orders. That's the only change I will do for now. Have Rubel coming in for Sabbir. For the lack of better option, Saifuddin will be in the squad.
Alfie, did you get to watch Sabir Bowl, his leg spinners? Or...
I did, and I actually thought I watched the first over, and I was like, my first reaction was, oh God, he's in. But I actually thought that he wasn't bowling too badly. I mean, we've seen Sabir bowl. His leg spin has been horrible. He'll bowl half trackers, and occasionally will get a wicket, but he'll usually go for 10, 11, 12 runs, 14 runs in an over. I didn't think he was bowling that poorly. But I only really watched the first over of his bowling. Honestly, I mean, if the team wants a leg spinner that badly, they should pick a specialist leg spinner and stick with him. Like Jubair, like the way they, mishandled Jubair was terrible.
Yeah, they
know.
can afford to with that many batsmen in the team. If they want to develop a leg spinner, they can.
They're just trying to find excuses for Shabir to have him as a come-in number 7.
Well, no,
That's not working out.
They picked Tanvir last time, Tanvir Haidar in the squad because he could supposedly bowl some leg spin. And I mean, I don't know pick a specialist leg spinner. And the other thing is,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Maybe I'll forget. That's why I just wanted to mention there was another reason why I asked the question because the pitch that we saw in the first ODI, it was good for pace like we saw, but I don't think it was too bad for spin either. It was slow. It was really slow coming onto the bat. So then if we take Shabir out, then our spinners are going to be what, Riyadh and Miraz. Those.
Yeah.
So just wanted to make sure us four we are cool with that or not. Okay.
I'll be very honest. I think just having a leg spinner just for the sake of having it doesn't make sense. I mean, leg spin is a very difficult art. It's the most difficult variation of spin. So you can't just throw a player in. I mean, Shabir, you can't really expect anything better from him. He was lucky he didn't get destroyed out of the ground. I think they were not even planning to hit him. That's the thing. I mean, they knew the target. They knew how easily they're gonna get there. It was Guptill's first comeback game. He wanted to get settled in.
I think if this was the first innings, they would have scored out of 7 overs more than close to 60.
Trust me, Guptill was taking his time because he is coming back from an injury and he actually wanted to play out the entire game. You could see it in his approach. He's not that kind of a batsman who's going to leave out half trackers. It's never going to happen. Doesn't matter who's bowling. But yeah, for me, I think, I don't know. Like, I understand that Saifuddin was really good with the bat, but this is what I'm gonna ask you. Okay, let's say Saifuddin scored what 40 runs, I think.
Yeah, 41, I
Okay,
think it was. Yeah.
so we scored 230. 230 minus 40, that's 190, right?
Hmm.
That 30 runs made no difference to the game. I'll be honest. But that bowling, if there was a specialist bowler there, if there was Rubel there, the game, we would have been, let's say, 190 all out, and then New Zealand could have been 190 for 5 winning that game. To me, I would take that any day over this. Don't get me wrong. I think Saifuddin is a great bowler. I just don't know what value he brings to this bowling attack for now. And I'm going to judge him based on bowling. He's not going to score 40 runs on every given day. You're gonna have to agree with that. It's not going to happen. It happened.
No, but
No,
but I do.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead, Roy. Okay. I mean, I think that Saifuddin, I was initially not a fan of his to be included in the squad, back whenever. But I think that we've been looking for a seam bowling all rounder for a while now.
Mhm.
And I think Saifuddin is I mean, he's not Imran Khan. He's not going to be Imran Khan. He's not going to be, Andrew Flintoff. But for our purpose, I think that he's done fairly well, and I think that he's a young player. He's only played a few games. I think he's certainly got more potential than Ariful or who are some of the other seam bowling all rounders we've picked in the past. I can't remember now,
Zia,
but
Farhad,
I think that
those people.
Farhad, those guys. He's certainly better than those guys. He's been reasonably consistent with the bat, although he kind of looked uncomfortable yesterday. He's bowled not badly, and his pace is, Mufi's saying that he's not going to trouble it. His pace is not bad. 130, 135 for an all-rounder as a pace bowler. It's not terrible.
He hasn't done anything to get dropped, but I see Rinat's point.
No, but to Rinat,
I wanted to kind of finalize the selections. So Rinat, you're gonna bring in Rubel and drop Saifuddin. What about Shabir?
No,
Are you gonna,
no. Okay, I didn't say I did. My point was, when we are trying to play that extra player who can bat a little bit, whether it is Saifuddin, whether it is Shabir, that 30 to 40 runs is never gonna make the difference. It's gonna be It's only gonna make our losses look better. That's all it's gonna do. If our top six doesn't score 95% of the runs, we're not gonna win a game, and that's plain and simple as that.
No.
I mean, yesterday, even if our batsmen scored 300 runs yesterday, we would have lost the game, and I can guarantee you on that. There is no way that bowling attack would have defended 300 runs against a batting attack which has Guptill, Williamson, Ross Taylor, and who's their keeper again?
I think the keeper was Latham.
Latham, yeah.
Latham was keeping,
Mhm.
yeah.
There is no way on hell that Sabir or Saifuddin or even Riyadh we're gonna defend a score of 300. It's just not possible. So my point is, like, we can't drop Saifuddin now because Shakib's not here. But once Shakib is back, I just don't know if we need Saifuddin for that bits and piece of bowling and batting.
I think it's doing him a disservice to write him off as a bits and pieces already. I think Saifuddin has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
I'm not
saying that.
I'm not writing him off. I'm not writing him off. I just don't think he's needed at the moment. I think he still has ways to go because again, for me, if I pick Saifuddin, it's gonna be primarily because of his bowling. I'm not gonna count his batting because again, he is not a batting all-rounder.
so
He's a bowling all-rounder.
who would you bring Rubel in place of?
Yeah.
For now, since we don't have Shakib, I would bring him in place of, I'm gonna say Liton, because again, I can't drop Sabir after you brought him back after all this drama after like 6 months and whatnot. It just doesn't look good. You have to give him the series so we can get rid of him for good. But Liton, I think that's way too much inconsistency up the order when you have Shomo and Liton and Mitun. So I'm not gonna play all three of them. I'm gonna drop one of them, and I'm gonna bring in an extra bowler.
I would have to agree with that. I've been saying all along on these pods, I've not sold on Liton as a batsman in really any format. Maybe T20, I don't know. But in my opinion, even when he does well, he doesn't look like he can play a long innings, which
So
and I
that
understand
means
with
so that means Shomo comes in as the second opener.
yeah, I would probably pick
But
Shomo
are you
because
guys
Shomo
then sold on Shomo then? Because we're not also convinced on Shomo as well.
Well,
well, here's the thing.
I am though.
Shomo, I am. I've been talking about Shomo for a while. Shomo, okay, he's not going to be as consistent as Tamim, but if we have the big four, I mean, Shakib's out now, so it's just big three. They're firing. We really only need Shomo to do, to be Shomo. If he can score 40 off of 30 on a consistent basis, which I think he can do that.
And
Not even 40.
he's
We need 30 runs from him.
Yeah,
We need
30 off of
runs.
20, just get put a little impetus into the innings. That's fine. And then on his day,
yeah.
he can destroy a bowling attack like very few other players can.
Shomo's upside is just amazing, and
it's tremendous.
He's done well against New Zealand bowlers. My favorite innings with Shomo is still that 50 odd runs he got against a Saudi and Bolt. Was that in England or New Zealand? I don't remember, but I remember that match. Everyone was struggling, but Shomo kind of pulled it.
I don't remember that one, but that six that he hit yesterday was phenomenal. I mean,
Not just the six.
It was just the attitude that he brings. The attitude he brings to the batting lineup. I mean, yes,
it's the fact that he's very tall. Like he's taller than a lot of our other batsmen, so that's why he can play the short balls very well.
Mm-hmm.
Like he has more time than Liton or Mushfiq. He can see those balls, and that's why. But even though he kind of cut out in a short ball.
I mean, he hits these effortless sixes, and I mean, it's just. I mean, and I think that we have a definite need for that in our limited over side. Liton, I don't think brings anything any advantage over any other opener.
No, I'd echo your sentiments. It's true, and I'd agree with Rinat and you that we should bring in Rubel and drop Liton.
In that case, I would still drop Shabbir and drop Liton from the opening to the number 6 and number 7. I would still like to keep Liton in the squad.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't see any value in Shabbir.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying Shabbir has any value, but once Shakib comes back, then you could say drop Liton, bring in extra bowler.
If Shakib comes back, then
a lot of things changes actually.
Yeah,
so
then the balance changes.
Yeah, I just
Miraz.
We may not need Miraz at that point. Right?
Miraz is gonna be the equivalent of like Shakib.
Yeah. We're not gonna play two frontline spinners, right?
Although I would like to see how Miraz's batting develops. Like he had got off to a very good start this series with the bat.
It's an okay start. I wouldn't call it a very good start.
I mean, I would too for the
on his standard. I think it's a pretty good start.
But what is his standard? Like, what is his role in the team as a batsman?
As an ODI player, his batting has been very, very low. His batting has been pretty unimpressive in the ODI
like we
side.
Tried him as an opener in the Asia Cup.
He didn't watch as many games in BPL. He would have understood that Miraz is fancying himself. He's giving himself confidence, leading the team and coming into open. He's done all right. I mean, for the same reason I want to see Saifuddin in the team, is the same reason I want to see Miraz in the team. I want these young guys to get more chances.
Yeah, they need to get chances. They need to get experience.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys have to remember, we don't play that many. We play less. We play fewer games than Zimbabwe. And we play far fewer than Sri Lanka and Pakistan and other teams that are at our level.
Right.
So
I think we've covered the. Sorry, Alfie. If you just please finish your point. After that, I'll close it out.
Yeah. So it's important that whenever we play, that we pick the right squad. So that means don't pick players that have no hope or no future. Like what was that guy? The complete package we picked, Fazler Abbi. Like don't pick guys like that. That doesn't make no sense.
It's criminal. Yeah.
Really is.
Sometimes you gotta take your chances with these players. I think so. One series or 1 or 2 series, I'm not too concerned about that.
If you take chances,
take a chance.
You could take a chance on Mossadegh. You could have taken a chance on Nazmul Hussain Shanto and keep giving him chances. Go with a younger player, a player who can play for you for 15 years, who can establish himself, who has talent. I mean, Fazl Rabbi came out. He had like one good domestic season, and all of a sudden, I do understand selectors. Maybe they see these guys on a day-to-day basis domestically, and they're like, okay, this guy's got talent. But you have to also understand, if a player is so good to be the complete package, then where was he 5 years ago? Why would he suddenly become a complete package at age 28, 29, 30? That doesn't make any sense.
For sure. So just before we close it out, I want to make sure. So me, Rinat, Alfie, we're switching Liton with Rubel, and Mufi switching Shabir
With Rubel.
Rubel. Right. Are we missing anything? Like, did we? What other spinners did we pack in the squad?
Naeem is in the
Naeem
squad.
is here. Naeem is here.
Okay.
And
I think
and
I
and
would
watch
Naeem or yeah.
and watching Miraz and Riyadh bowl. I wish there was another spot for another offie, but we really don't. But maybe at one point, maybe for the last game, I may want to drop Miraz and play Naeem because
Play
I
Naeem.
genuinely feel like Naeem can turn the ball more. And again, because New Zealand does suffer against spinners, I think Naeem has a real value to play. Right now, we can't drop Miraz because again, he can sort of bat. But on the last game, I would want to.
Right. I feel
Yeah,
like from what I saw in the first ODI, we're gonna get closer in the second one. We kind of have to, otherwise we lose the series, right? And
Yeah.
I don't want to put Naeem in that situation. It'll be a lot of pressure for him to stay in the series for Bangladesh. So thanks, guys. Alfie, you're saying something. After that, we'll close it out because we're going over.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. I mean, it would be great to win the series, but I'll be happy if we just win one game. Because really this series isn't really about results. I don't think it's more about getting ready for the World Cup. And that's it. And so we should try to see our players. Try to, I think that the spinners that we have, Miraz, whoever we have.
Let me ask you this, Alfie. So you think if this New Zealand team, if they came to Bangladesh, we would have won 3-0 in the ODI?
We would have destroyed them.
I definitely think so. I think we would have destroyed them. Well, maybe not destroyed. I mean, we would have beaten them 3-0.
We would have destroyed them.
Just wanted to check. Just wanted to check.
Yeah, we'd beat a lot. We would beat a lot of teams 3-0 if we played them in Bangladesh, like right now, even without Shakib. I think.
Yeah.
We
made the Asia Cup final without Shakib and Tamim, right?
And Tamim,
in subcontinent conditions. So
yeah.
I think they know. But
and
one last thing I want to point out. I really, really hope from what I have been seeing of our seamers in the Champions Trophy in New Zealand, I think our spinners needs to start working on being effective in away conditions, because I think we are going to have to work with the fact that our seamers are not going to be express. Like Mashrafi is not going to bowl 140k. Fizz is not going to be bowling 140k, right? Rubel may. Our seamers are there's a limit to how effective they're going to be in away conditions. These are all basically seamers that takes the advantage of a slow surface and picks up wickets with a lack of pace. Mm-hmm. So our spinners, if we want to get 10 wickets in an ODI game, it's going to be our spinners that has to start being effective, because our batsmen, the opposition batsmen, will also target them. And, it could be a nice base situation.
I mean, I think that our bowling is going to be good if our batting can put up 300 runs. They'll automatically be so much more better. Just scoreboard pressure. Our seamers, I mean, Fizz was bowling up around 140 yesterday. He had a lot of deliveries in the 140 range. High 130s, 140. He got up to 141. That was the fastest that I saw. So his pace is back. And that makes that cutter more effective. But, I mean, the thing is that we didn't have any scoreboard pressure. I mean, Fizz we have to realize he's not going to blast people out. But very few bowlers are. I mean, with the exception of, I think, maybe Mitchell Starc, maybe Rabada. And I don't even think Rabada has done that in ODIs. In ODIs, there's not many fast bowlers that are just going to blast you out in most conditions. Every now and then, a Bolt or a Rabada might blast someone out. But, Hassan Ali is not going to do it. I don't even think Bumrah is really going to be blasting people out.
If you want a spinner like that, then definitely then we should give Naeem a chance pretty soon, I guess, because we need someone with personality. Even the greatest spinners we had in the team, Razak, Rafiq, they always seem like a bit, I don't know, like not the alpha dog. We need someone like who's gonna, prove and try to be the best bowler of all the bowlers, not just spin bowlers, but of the whole team. So hopefully, let's hope we can do that. Do something like that in the future. So the first ODI not so good, but much closer than you would think by just looking at the scorecard. And we feel like if the management listens to us and brings Rubel in instead of Shabir or Litton, we should have a better chance. So thanks, guys, for watching, and thanks for joining. You guys.
Good chatting to you guys as always. Have a good night, guys.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.